Hi, I'm Kat Tillinghast with West Coast Yoga and Sports Therapy. I'm a yoga therapist and we help people with chronic conditions. Also, sleep is very important, and insomnia is something that is good to address. I'm wearing a stone today. It's called a blue lace agate. And I'm wearing that around my neck, and that is very helpful for inducing sleep and relaxation. I take insomnia very seriously, and I'm willing to do a lot of different styles of practice to help to create balance so that I can sleep, and not only sleep, but perhaps not wake up in the middle of the night. So I'm doing left nostril breathing, which is going to bring me into my sleep brain, which is my right brain. And now I'm coming into a hand gesture, a mudra. This will also aid with the relaxation. This is known as Vienna Mudra. And you join the tips of the thumbs and the index fingers together, and then you touch the tip of the middle finger to the middle line of the thumb, and then extend the other fingers. The other fingers are just going to naturally go upward. I'm going to sit maybe for a few moments and just breathe. Focus on my in-breath and my out-breath before I move into a very relaxing restorative pose that I might need to do every night before bed. So people who suffer from insomnia for various reasons, if they stay steady in a consistent practice that aids with relaxation, they may start to see a change and a shift. One of the things I like to do is use a block to support my head in a child's pose with the head turned. And I might come up and reach one arm up and turn the head and come back down into a supported child's pose, just to let go of the tension in my neck and my upper back and shoulders. What I've noticed with working with people who have insomnia is that they have a lot of upper back, neck, and shoulder tension. So this is really a nice, slow, relaxing exercise that you might want to try, just to open up the cervical spine, create space, create a little bit of blood flow in the shoulder area, and just moving and breathing, nostril breathing, perhaps already lengthening my exhales to balance my nervous system. For these poses, we keep things like blankets nearby to support the knees if we need to. We should never be uncomfortable in our yoga practice. It should be a simple, flowing practice, not complicated, especially for something like insomnia. So I might also rest with my forehead on the block, and I might do this for 5 minutes or more. This is going to activate my pituitary gland. Our hormones are very tied into our sleep patterns. And so if we can create more balance with the hormone system, that's always nice. So block, supporting the head, pressing into the forehead, pituitary, moving through the endocrine system to create balance so we can rest, relax the nervous system. If you have downward facing dog in your practice, again, this is going to start to work on the endocrine system and create more balance to the organs. Blood flow, detoxification. A little stretch for the back. And if downward dog is too much for you to hold because of a shoulder condition or a problem with your knees or your feet or your legs, you can always bring your knees to the floor and just try to press yourself maybe up and back down. So always ways to modify these poses. If you have downward dog in your practice, I recommend it for insomnia. And you would ideally, if you'd like to move in and out of the pose, that's okay, but you would ideally hold downward dog until you start to feel a little bit fatigued, perhaps 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, and then rest in child's pose. And you might move in and out from child's pose to table and back to child's pose. Before you come up and sit up. And already I'm feeling so much more relaxed. Ready to move on to my next pose. Again, I mentioned that forward bends are very helpful to induce relaxation and find our way to a comfortable night's sleep. I think insomnia has so much to do with our nervous systems. So when we come into a forward bend, we're actually balancing the nervous system, calming. If you'd like to take a deep forward bend, perhaps using the block again to support the crown of your head, that's a nice forward bend. Again, variations. Important that you choose what works best for you. Some of you are comfortable coming all the way down to the floor. Others want a very supported back bend. This is back bend, I meant forward bend. But this is a very wide-legged forward bend. So we're getting a little stretch in the back and the hamstrings. We want to stay away from back bends in the evening or for people who are working with insomnia disorders. So again, just showing another angle of bringing the crown of the head down, keeping my outer hips firm so I'm not putting all the pressure on my low back. Notice I'm bending my knees and pressing into my feet and coming up with a flat spine as I come out of the pose. Always aware of putting too much pressure on my joints. Keeping focused on the breathing. Getting ready for moving into the next pose. Using a bolster. Probably my favorite yoga prop would have to be a bolster. They're so comfortable. And I usually choose to put a blanket over my bolster. And here, I'm going to be doing a twist. I'm going to bring my right hip up to the bottom of the bolster, bend my knees, but make sure that my legs are apart comfortably, so there's no tightness or tension on the low back of the hips. I'm going to inhale, lengthen my spine, and I'm going to exhale and twist over the block. But I'm going to lengthen as I come down over, the bolster, and I might turn my head to the right here as I'm using the right hip to come into this twist, or I might come into a deeper twist by turning my head to the left and bringing the left ear down on the bolster, keeping the back of the neck long. I tend to prefer not coming into that deep of a twist. I feel a little bit more relaxed with my right ear down on the right side. It's always helpful to rest on your right side. Again, you're doing more breathing through that left nostril when you're lying on your right side. And that's going to stimulate the right brain, which is your sleep brain. But a twist is nice because it takes the tension out of your spine. You might find that you'll need a block because you want to be up a little higher. It's just so nice to have yoga props to use for our practice. And you can hold these poses for 5 minutes or more than 5 minutes if that's comfortable for you. Don't believe I've ever fallen asleep on a twist, but I've definitely fallen asleep over a bolster, using it for support, restoration. And then you notice that you want to do both sides, always important in yoga for balance. And so my left hip comes to the bottom of the bolster. We inhale first so the spine is long, and then we exhale into the twist. And I'm thinking about lengthening my spine over the bolster. I want to reiterate that I'm showing you these poses, but if you can remember and learn these poses, these are poses you can do on your own for long periods of time. You can hold these poses for longer than 5 minutes on each side if that suits you. And as you learn more relaxing restorative poses, you can do more of these before bedtime so that you're in a more relaxed state and you're letting go of the tension and the stress, not only in your body, but in your mind. Always coming out of the pose very gently, mindfully. Getting very relaxed now. Getting ready to move to the next set of poses. I like to use the wall for support. And I spoke earlier about the beauty of forward bends and how they help to relax the nervous system. So I'm not focusing so much on stretching as I am just coming into a forward bend to relax my nervous system before I rest. First, I'm keeping my spine long. I'm not forcing myself into a deep stretch. I might rest my hands on the tops of my toes. I won't necessarily round my spine here, but if I get very comfortable in this forward bend, it's okay for me to do a little bit of rounding of the back. Making sure to focus on the breath. Long, slow, smooth, deep breaths. Very long exhales. Anyone with insomnia should most likely be practicing long exhales throughout the day, focusing on the exhale rather than the inhale. Coming out of the pose mindfully. Lying on my side, bringing my buttocks up to the wall and deciding if I want to press away from the wall, if that's too tight, or get closer to the wall as I come into a very restful, relaxing Shavasana. And I might do some cycles of pranayama here that will be again focusing on my exhale or lengthening my exhale perhaps twice as long as my inhale. Remember that you can support the head with a blanket. You can put a blanket over your body. The palms should be facing up. And here when I come into Shavasana, I'm resting in Viparita Karani, legs up the wall, and letting go of the breath. Then to come out of this Shavasana, after 5 minutes or so, I'm going to bring my feet to the wall with bent knees. And again, notice I'm rolling to my right side, stimulating my sleep brain. And with all that balance, and in yoga, what we call sattvic, a state that makes us have a soft smile, I'll come into a beautiful, relaxing meditation that I've prepared for. All of those poses have prepared me for my meditation. And I have my oil for my Abhyanga practice, maybe a little organic sesame oil. Maybe I'll rub it on the bottoms of my feet, bringing warmth and comfort, relaxation to my whole body. Perhaps I'll put some on my head, my shoulders, my chest. Just breathing in the natural oil. It's okay to put the oil anywhere on your body, soaks into the skin, seeps into the joints. It's a yoga practice. So yoga therapy has a lot of techniques for us. And Abhyanga is a favorite of mine. Perhaps a little lavender oil or neroli oil in water for a spray that calms and balances and restores my energy. As I come into meditation with my back feeling supported against the wall, I might come back into a mudra. Vienna Mudra, which is relaxing and helps to ease the symptoms of insomnia. And as my back is supported and my hips are supported up on the bolster, I'll close my eyes and breathe, and I'll actually see myself letting go of the day, moving into a place of relaxation, balance, restful sleep, perhaps a whole 8 hours. And I'll just let go and breathe. Letting thoughts come, letting thoughts go. All is well. I might breathe in and repeat this mantra, all is well. When I'm ready, I bring my hands to my heart in Anjali Mudra, giving gratitude. I thank you. Namaste. May you have very sound, restful, blissful sleep.